Thinking about relocating to Arlington here in Massachusetts? Fantastic, but before you make the move, let's explore the neighborhood, the housing market, and all the key places you need to know here in the city just outside of Boston. So in this video, I'll be taking you on a full map tour and relocation guide so you can figure out exactly if Arlington is a landing spot for you. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike O'Brien. I'm a greater Boston real estate agent expert, helping people like you learn more about Boston and all the great cities and towns outside of Boston as well. So if Arlington is on your radar, you're not alone. It's one of the most popular suburbs just outside of the city. So today I'll take you on a guided tour of Arlington's neighborhoods, what to expect when you live here, what it's like to relocate here, and all the good things about Arlington. So let's get started. All right, let's start up this tour with showing you exactly where Arlington is in relation to Boston. So here's Boston down here, and you see the red dotted line outlining Arlington. So let's use a little quick facts over here. Arlington's in Middlesex County, the largest county in Massachusetts, at least it feels like it. 6 miles technically northwest of Boston, population just over 46,000 at the 2020 census, but Somerville and Cambridge right next to Boston here, and you go a little bit further out, and you have Arlington next to Medford, Watertown, Waltham, Lexington, and Medford to the east, Woburn a little bit to the north. But let's get into it. So there are a couple distinct neighborhoods of Arlington, and we get this guy out of the way. So there's Arlington Heights here on the left. This is kind of Arlington Heights. This is also can be called the Turkey Hill section of Arlington. And then east of Mystic Street and Pleasant Street. So this is also Route 60. Kind of this side of Mystic and Pleasant Street is East Arlington. And it just kind of stops here by the Elway Brook Highway. So again, a couple distinct neighborhoods or areas within Arlington. But if we want to get down into, let's start like in a nitty gritty of Arlington, because it all kind of starts in Arlington Center. So if we go down here, we're welcome basically to kind of the crossroads of Arlington, if you will. So this is Mass Ave, Massachusetts Ave. This is the major thoroughfare that cuts right through Arlington. And Somerville and Cambridge and so many towns outside of Boston here. Actually goes into Boston as well. So Arlington, a very popular neighborhood outside of Boston, also known for one of the towns on Paul Revere's ride. It's got a ton of history as it pertains to the American Revolutionary War. They just celebrated the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. Big celebrations and parades all up and down or up outside of Boston on that route ridden by Paul Revere. So just to show you this is our Uncle Sam statue over there. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, Uncle Sam Plaza. There you go. So a lot of history in Arlington. And before we get to the neighborhoods, again, just want to kind of take you through some of the cultural touch points here in Arlington Center. So if we go up Mass Ave, you're going to see Robbins Library here on your left side. Great architecture there. So that's your public library. You go a little bit further down. You have your town hall. And if we go back out to the map view, a cool little hub here between Robbins Library and Town Hall. And you also have the Arlington Center for the Arts. Great organization. And obviously does a ton in the art space. If you're not going to be around, you're going to miss Porch Fest on June 21st. Actually, when we're filming this already happened, so we just missed it. But make sure if you're interested in the arts, if you're interested in the programs that the Arlington Center for the Arts has, make sure you check this out. But if we go back out, also, again, we talk a lot about you can talk a lot about the history in Arlington, also the Jason Russell House Museum. This is site of one of the bloodiest battles in Arlington and really the Revolutionary War, right on the first day of the Revolutionary War. So April 19th, 1775. I'm not going to get into the old history and whatnot, but make sure you check that out. So that's all right down in Arlington Center. Um, just while I'm here, some fun some fun places I think you want to check out. The Butternut Bakehouse, if you like pastries, if you like great coffee, breakfast, lunch, make sure you check that out. I mean, Tate is here right in Arlington Center as well. I think they're outside of Massachusetts. Yeah, that's a national chain, so you may know about that already. Um, so again, a few coffee shops or a few places to check out. Also, Kickstand Cafe. I find myself here all the time. Let's see if I can let's get down on the street if we can, because they show the outdoor seating during the winter there. Trust me, it is much better. Can you see it in the background there? I'm gonna have to zoom in. See a kickstand back there. Reason it's called kickstand. Oh, there it is. I find myself stopping here for coffee, lunch, breakfast sandwiches all the time. So they do have the outdoor seating. The reason it's called Kickstand Coffee is, well, one of the reasons is because Arlington has a bike trail that goes right through it. So it's a big kind of hub for bikers to stop while they're on the trail. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So let's get back out to the map here. So that's Arlington Center for the most part. I love that area of Arlington. You can really find almost everything you need in that area. But let's get down to East Arlington. So East Arlington, ton of green space and waterfront properties, Spy Pond. So let's do a little bit of a eagle's eye view here. So let's zoom out to give you a little bit more of an eagle's eye view here of East Arlington, because it's got a ton of green space. I mean, you have Spy Pond right there. So you actually do have waterfront property when it comes to East Arlington. You have the playing fields here, Scannell, Spy Pond Field. You have Thorndike Park and also Magnolia Park down this way. Let's see if we can get you a little better view. You have the community garden over here. Great place to hang out. And you go a little bit further up and you come to Dilboy Stadium and Dilboy Pool over here. So you got the tennis courts over on this. So a lot of recreational space here in East Arlington. But let's get into the East Arlington neighborhood a little bit when it comes to, let's get into Arlington overall. And just looking at the overall properties or number of properties. Let's talk about the housing market basically. So number of properties on the market right now. So this is end of June, so summertime. So we're past the spring market a little bit, but it's still a low inventory, kind of high demand time in Massachusetts. So of the 51 listings, just scrolling down, 23 of those are single families. And doing the math, 28 of those are going to be condos. Okay. You're seeing a lot of renovation, redevelopment in the condo space, like double deckers, triple deckers that have been converted into luxury condos or at least high-end condos. But again, you see the price ranges vary exponentially, really. I mean, you can get a condo in Arlington for $325 right now, or you can go all the way up to almost 1.6 million. So the average list price though is under that $1 million range, but not by much. They've been going pretty quick, lasting only a month on the market. Conversely, you go to the single family market and you see the prices. It can be tough to find something under that 7-figure range. And they definitely go all the way up into some pretty expensive price points. But in terms of the particular neighborhoods, so if you're in East Arlington, let's get back out to this view. So you're in East Arlington, you're definitely going to find single family opportunities for sure, but you're going to see a ton of multifamilies and a lot of multifamilies that have been converted. And then kind of case in point here, newly renovated or at least recently renovated. But again, you see a lot of multifamily double deckers, 2 units, whatever, 2 families, whatever you want to call them. And it's a little bit of the name of the game here in East Arlington. again, single family opportunities, but so many of these double deckers or multifamilies. That's a single family opportunity, property right there. So is that. We'll just go back down Brooks Avenue. So, when I say that when I tell you that it is more opportunity in the condo market, well, if we check out East Arlington specifically and what that looks like. So let's actually bring in the solds as well. So 20 over the last 6 months. How many of those have been single families? 2. All right. And so that means the remaining 25 have been, or 26, excuse me, have been in the condo space. So again, the single families, high price points there, and a wide spectrum, wide range of price points when it comes to condo space. Again, you can find the condos at a relatively affordable price here in Arlington, but you would definitely see some of these newly renovated or updated, or maybe just new construction in general that can stretch all the way well into the $1 million mark. So if we go back to East Arlington, we go to street maps. So again, not seeing, maybe tough to see from the outside, some of the development and the renovation, but there are just a ton of projects happening in not just East Arlington, but Arlington overall. But again, if you're looking for a condo, in Arlington, East Arlington might be your first kind of stop or first area to look at. But let's get back out to the map. So we've been through Arlington Center, kind of took you through East Arlington a little bit. I want to show you that trail we're talking about. So scroll in. This is the Minuteman the Minuteman Commuter Bikeway. I want to make sure I get that. I wanted to get that name right. It is a mouthful, but it stretches all the way through Arlington, goes down through Cambridge, and starts to stretch along to Somerville. So if you've seen the Somerville map tour we've done, this is the trail we talked about there, and it goes all the way up through Arlington, keeps going, into Lexington and so forth. So, that's just a big trail, walking trail, runners, jogging, walk with friends, family, whoever. So it's actually a very nice trail that you can spend hours on. You go for a nice long run, or just, a kind of casual stroll, however you want. So if East Arlington is kind of the more multifamily or condominium neighborhood of Arlington Heights, you see more your single family opportunities there. So give you a little sense. Oh, and also we need to talk about Menotomy Park, Battle of Menotomy, one of the famous battles of the American Revolution. Not going to get into it too much. I'll let you do the history lesson yourself. But Hills Pond there, great park, walking trails. You also have the playing fields and trails over here, park over here at Robbins. And also, speaking of Robbins, I just want to go back down to Arlington Center quickly. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but if I go back down to Arlington Center, just want to let you know that, and it's not going to look like much right now because it's a parking lot, but at least in Google right now. And then we'll get back to Arlington Heights. So every Wednesday in Arlington, right here. So if the hub of, Arlington Center, Arlington Square, Arlington Hub is right there, they do a farmer's market every Wednesday here in this parking lot. So make sure you check that out. All right. Sorry. Back to Arlington Heights. So to give you a sense of Arlington Heights a little bit, let's go to Jason Street. Some call it Jason Heights. Again, right by Menotomy. Yeah, I keep on switching my letters, but Menotomy. And again, you start to see now the single families. And you will come across some old Victorian homes here, great brickwork, and some cool architecture here in Arlington. Like Arlington's a city that you go through and it's easy to kind of feel the history at times as you're not only going through, Arlington Center and some of these, maybe checking out some of these historical sites, but you do stumble across, you know, a house or two or three or four. We're like, oh, right. This, this was colonial America. This was colonial Boston. I just think that's pretty cool. So we've kind of left the condo market behind here as we get to Arlington Heights and see some of these, wonderful single family homes. But we want to kind of compare the housing market in Arlington Heights as opposed to East Arlington. So a few more opportunities, or at least recently. I know a few more sales here the last 6 months, but I think you're going to see a kind of flip of the numbers here. So checking out both single families and condominiums. And so 14 condominiums, so a little more balanced than it was in East Arlington, but 14 condominiums and still a wide range of prices, all the way to less than $300,000, all the way up to, $1.5 million, essentially. Now, and again, it's a wonderful area for single families, and the prices are going to kind of reflect that accordingly. So, you can find some properties. Let's do ascending. Oh, sorry. Let's do this better. There we go. You can find some properties, like we're saying, in the six-figure mark, but you're going to find just as many that are kind of stretching into, towards, definitely in the 1 million mark, but towards that 2 million mark as well. But great homes. There's usually a lot of colonials, a lot of kind of garrison type colonials as well. Ton of square footage, and just know that you always need to be careful when it comes to these older homes, these older colonial homes in Massachusetts. You just want to make sure that you are, kind of always protecting yourself and making sure that everything is as updated as it can be. So let's go back out to the outside here. So again, starting to take you a look through, like once we get across Pleasant Street there, you're into Arlington Heights. It's starting to get into that area as well. So, and again, this is just kind of Arlington over here. This space, we start to get into Lexington, but again, a ton of great green space. We talked a little bit about Menominee Park here. Beautiful for hiking, walking the dog, if you have that. Robbins Farm Park has sledding in the winter. It's got some great views. Let's see if we can actually get some of those views, if it'll allow us. Try and go 3D here. So if we go 3D, we zoom on in. Maybe scroll around a little bit. I could see the views. Spin around. So yeah. So not only the green space there at Menominee Hit Rocks Park, Robbins Park as well. Spy Pond has kayaking. It has the trails around the pond for walking, jogging. And also, we got to go back to can I spin around? Also, on the other side of Arlington, you have the Mystic Pond. So let me just show you the kind of the straight map view here. So yeah, Mystic Valley Parkway really separating Arlington and Medford over here. But again, more waterfront, more green space. Upper Mystic Lake. Guess what this is going to be? Lower Mystic Lake, right? And then actually, this is pretty fun. Right on the dam, even though it's not Arlington. Well, technically Arlington. I want to show you this. This is the Medford Boat Club. See if I can scroll in. I think I'm scrolled too fast. Map's starting to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, if Arlington's right here. So I guess, yeah, technically they share the dam here. They share the dam here with Medford. And then, so the Medford Boat Club is technically on the but sailing programs, sailing programs, kayaking along the Mystic River available as well. So again, some more great green space. I might as well show you some of the waterfront property if we can. Is it going to allow me? No. All right. Actually, let's try that one more time. There we go. And let's see if we can. There we go. So, got to be great, pretty great to have some of these houses. Although it looks like more like a fall day here as they were filming, or the Google truck was going around. Let's see if we can get back to the outside. But yeah. So it's just funny how, when you think of Massachusetts and the the waterfront, you think about, the coastline, right? And just funny how many waterfront opportunities there are available in Massachusetts and specifically in Arlington. So yeah, see if we can scroll in a little bit here. Oop, lost it. Where'd he go? I just think the boat club's pretty cool. I'm sorry, I'm so focused on this. Let's see if we can get a better look. There we go. So, a little Minecrafty right now with the blocks, but you get a sense of it. So yeah, Arlington, a really great suburb outside of Boston. And again, one of the more popular ones as well because you have that great city center. You have some great properties, again, in some higher price points for sure, but there are properties available that they're definitely affordable. So if you're looking in a price range, it's less than that, $1 million price range, you can find those opportunities, both in the single family and condo market. So, usually I go through, for those of you who have been on map tours a little bit, or see my past map tours, that I go a little bit more into like the restaurants and the eateries and all that. And trust me, there are plenty. But I really want to show you some of the architecture. I want to show you some of the housing market here. I want to show you some of the green space. As I pop back down to Arlington Center here, I did show you Kickstand Cafe, but I want to find the Donut Villa as well. Take a guess what's there. I'll just pull it to the outside. So yeah, so let's just scroll on in. Oh, great theater. Great movie theater there. Right, right outside, well, really in Arlington Center. So if you're a film buff, if you're a movie buff, know that you have opportunities there. So quickly, just want to touch on transportation here because in terms of the T kind of coming in and out of Arlington, your option for that really is technically not even in Arlington. It's in Cambridge. You have the Alewife station here. So again, if you're looking to use public transportation to get in and out of Arlington, you're probably working your way down here to Alewife Station. A ton of buses and different bus routes to get you in and out of Arlington. But one of the big I guess the big draws of Arlington is it's highway access. So you have Route 2 here that gets you down to Route 3. Route 3, they'll take you north of the city. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have highway access to get you either towards the city or away from the city as needed. So yeah, really sandwiched in between Route 2 and Route 3 there. So, you're not driving too far to get to the highway to get to where you need to go. But if you're using public transportation, you're probably looking at a bus route or making your way over to Alewife Station. And that just about wraps up our tour. Thinking about relocating to Arlington. I hope this tour helped you get a feel for the neighborhoods, the housing market, and everything in between. So if you're considering a move, I love to help you figure out the right area, the right property, and of course, the right plan. So drop your questions in the comments below. I respond to every comment I get. Hit like and subscribe for more Boston relocation tips, and make sure you check out the Moving to Boston playlist so you never miss town guides and map tours like this one. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next video.